Leader, welcome to Rhode Island. Your first time here?
First time here.
Well, what do you think of it so far? You're about 50 feet over the ocean. What do you...
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
I came here for one purpose. This is the year that we have somebody that has a plan to help turn this country around in Allan. And just watching what he had done as mayor, taking a city to be one of the very best from economics, from safety, that's what the country needs as a whole. And we've got a real opportunity, Allan, to add a seat in Congress.
Now, is this personal? Because if Allan Fung wins, you've struck a blow right in the heart of the bluest of the blue states. Congressman Langevin has been elected and re-elected and re-elected. So is this a feather in your cap? What would it be to get a Republican here?
It wouldn't be about a Republican, it'd be about America getting back on the right track. I think that's what, when you're looking across the country, we just had a race in Texas on the border that Republicans hadn't won in 150 years, that Biden won by 13. And Mayra Flores, who had never run before, just won that seat. First Mexican-born woman ever elected to Congress. It's a change in this country that people want to have safety. They're tired of the cost of living, the inflation, what's being driven by the Democrats. They don't want to defund the police. They want a secure border. They want to stop fentanyl from coming across. And we need somebody like Allan to make that happen.
What tells you Allan's going to win? You have numbers that I haven't seen. What do you have? You wouldn't come here if you didn't think.
You know what?
Shot.
Of all the places across the country I could come, this is one of the first places I made sure I can. When you meet Allan, you know he's special. You know this is a unique opportunity. You know what he has provided and what he's willing to give. You know the background, his experience. I think this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm not only just coming here today, but we're going to be here for the next 94 days to make sure he gets across the district.
Now, what kind of Republican are you looking for out of Rhode Island? Because we've had them before. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But most of them are moderate. Some people might say, well, they're rhinos, Republican in name only. They've got to walk a fine line. In Washington, they've got to come back here and deal with the Democrat state and the rest of the delegation. So a moderate Republican, you expect that?
I believe Allan represents his district. And that's the number one thing he should do in Congress. He'll be a part of the Republican conference, but he represents his district first and foremost, and the Constitution. And he votes the way the district and the way his principles and philosophy state.
All right. Well, let me ask a question in Rhode Island's self-interest.
Yes.
If we send you a Republican and you become the Speaker, what does that mean for us? Jack Reed does a very good job in bringing a lot of money home to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Does he have your interest? Does he have your ear? Are we going to be getting something as a gift in return?
In politics, it's not a payoff system. What they're going to get is good government. What they're going to get is someone who listens to them. What they're going to get from a standpoint, if I'm here with Allan, from the point, and his expertise and the time I've spent with him, I want to make sure he gets on with the very best committee to have that voice for his district at the head of the table. And more importantly, I believe we'll be in the majority. So if everybody in the Northeast, I think they're going to be coming to Allan to get the work done because he'll have the most say and most input.
Now, Allan's Democratic opponent, so the first thing they say is his first vote will be to put you as Speaker, and that's a bad thing. And they go after him for wearing a Donald Trump hat in the picture.
Well, I think the number one thing they should look at is his record. What did he do when he was mayor? Why did he turn a city around to make it one of the best cities in the country, that is the safest? Economically, he made the bond rating even higher. That's what you want in an elected official. For those who just want to pick up on party, I don't think that's right. You want to pick the very best person. And when you compare Allan to all the opponents, it's an easy answer to have that he's the best to represent Rhode Island.
All right, let's just talk about a couple of other things. The Chinese today launched a bunch of missiles, and they're acting up over there. Did Nancy Pelosi make a mistake in going? Is she poking a bear?
Well, I look at it like this. I think Nancy should go to Taiwan. I think her timing was wrong. Why to go to Taiwan and just make it partisan? Why wouldn't she take a Republican? I would have gone with her. Why would she go at a time that you're trying to keep China away from supplying weapons to Russia? And what really happened is this administration. Biden should not allow China to talk to us this way. He shouldn't have said at the beginning, well, the military doesn't want her to go. He should have said from the very beginning, China cannot dictate where Americans go to any country in that process, and that opened a window that created a real problem here.
Just a point of clarification, didn't she invite Republicans and they didn't want to go?
No, I think at the last minute she invited one Republican. You know what happens when you go on these congressional delegations to other countries? Every single one of them is bipartisan. Every single one.
Good.
The only one that's not is Nancy Pelosi's. And when she went to Ukraine, she didn't take a Republican. I recently went to Poland, to the border of Ukraine, to Romania. I didn't have one Democrat with me, I had two. It was a bipartisan. You want to speak with one voice, especially when you're overseas. And what could be a stronger message to China and everyone else that Republicans and Democrats are united in one voice against China? That becomes a real problem when you make it partisan like that. And I think that's where Nancy Pelosi messed up. I think she's of the same party of Joe Biden, but Joe Biden is our president. Why didn't she work with Joe Biden that if they had one message about her going to Taiwan? I think that would have been a stronger message to China. Now you've allowed China to have a military test that they never could have done anyway before, that they want to capture Taiwan. She now props Xi up, who is changing the Constitution to go beyond his term limits and made him stronger. I think the way she handled this was wrong. Now, the idea of going to Taiwan was right, but her process, her strategy behind it was wrong.
The president appears to be having a good week. He's going to get his spending bill passed. In fact, the Senate's working this weekend to move that along. There's a lot of work to go, but it's going to pass. He got Ayman al-Zawahiri. He appears to be having a good week. And from what I see, the polls might be tightening with regard to this red wave coming in. Are you reading the same newspapers I'm reading?
The president, you can say, has a good week, but America loses at that. We're now in a recession. Did America have a good week when every single Democrat, like they're going to do on this reconciliation bill, when they voted for that American Rescue Bill, that not only Republicans warned them it would create inflation, but Larry Summers. Steve Ratner said it's the original sin of the creation of inflation. So the real question is, can America afford to lose 1 month of salary? I don't believe anybody in Rhode Island can say yes to that. But because what the Democrats did with the American Rescue Plan, they had 1 month of salary taken from them because of inflation. You've claimed the highest gas price. We now have a border that has created almost every city to be a border city because fentanyl is now the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. You watch what the Democrat policy about defunding the police has done to crime throughout America. So they may think they have a good week, but America loses in that. That's why we need a new direction with a new plan. And Allan's going to be a big part of that.
Sheldon Whitehouse, our senator here. Jeff
Yes.
Reed echoes it, Congressman Cicilline. If we can lower drug costs, save families money in the transition to clean energy, make huge corporate tax dodgers pay some tax, and begin to turn the climate safely around, our long ordeal of nonsense and weird votes will have been totally worth it.
You know what?
He says just the opposite.
Yeah, but he also said the opposite when it came to the American Rescue Plan. Remember when they said it was going to be transitory with inflation? Then it was Putin's fault the gasoline prices went up. Then it was everybody else's problem. No, it's the policies that they created. Their overspending of those trillions of dollars that they said was for COVID, remember that? And only 9% went there. Created the inflation we have today. But remember in this bill, he doesn't talk about what he's doing. You look at the independents that studied it, it's going to cost us 30,000 jobs, but it's going to add 87,000 IRS agents. You know why? Because the Democrats say that's how they're going to pay for the bill. Well, how do you pay for the bill by adding 87,000 IRS agents? Going after and auditing and taking Americans' money. So they're starting out saying Americans don't pay right. And so they're going to audit more people.
Well,
and that's going to a lower level. That is not a success. That puts us in a worse position. And this money that they're doing on sending out, China's going to get a great deal amount of this money. Why don't we focus on making America energy independent? That means all the above. Why wouldn't we want the price of gasoline lower? You know, American energy, especially natural gas, is 41% cleaner than Russian natural gas. And think about this. If we were able to bring back the supply chain to America, this bill is doing the opposite. It's encouraging businesses to go overseas instead of come back to America. One of our elements in the commitment to America in our plan is to change the supply chain, bring it back from China to America, create a manufacturing base in America, make sure America's independent, lower our gasoline price, which will lower inflation, stop the runaway spending, which will also lower inflation, secure our borders, give the parents a Parents' Bill of Rights, where they have a say in their kids' education. They know what's going on in their schools. I think America would say that is a success.
Just a couple of lightning round questions.
Sure.
Congressman Cicilline is proposing a refinancing of student loans. Waive the interest, but still pay back your original principal you borrowed. Have you heard about this? Does that sound attractive to you? Waive the interest, let everybody borrow as much as they want, you still pay back the principal. Is that a compromise?
I don't think it's a compromise because somebody else is paying for that interest. You can't waive the interest as a magic wand. Who paid that money? Then the taxpayer pays it. Then who is the taxpayers that's paying it? The thing I believe is, why don't we make college more affordable? Why don't we get a greater return on the investment? And from the standpoint of where we're doing this, they just want it, they think everything's free money. Like if he thinks that's free, someone had to pay the interest, and that's more of the taxpayers. So it's going to end up somebody who didn't go to college paying for someone who had a law degree, who gets a greater return. I don't think that's fair in the process. There's a better way to do this, to make college more affordable. Everything they have done has made life more expensive. When you go to the store, your milk costs more, your eggs cost more, your meat, your chicken, everything costs more because of their policies. So I wouldn't trust Cicilline with any policy to think we're going to save money. It's just going to cost the taxpayers more, and there's going to be more IRS agents to audit your taxes.
Let's finally bring it full circle. Donald Trump.
Yes.
This is something you may like that Sheldon Whitehouse said. He told me that it's a slippery slope for one party to prosecute the former president of another party. How do I square that with the Attorney General saying no one is above the law? No one is above the law, with it's a slippery slope to go down. Where do we stand?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I want an Attorney General.
If the Attorney General at some point brings criminal charges against the former president, that is a slippery slope to go down, as Sheldon Whitehouse would agree, for any party. But yet the Attorney General the other day said no one is above the law. So square those two.
Well, this is how I would square it. If you looked at Bill Barr, who's been Attorney General twice, he looks at this and says he doesn't see that President Trump has done anything, right? But why does this current Attorney General seem to be so partisan? He went after parents who went to school board meetings to see what was happening. He called them terrorists. We've watched what he has done is he lets other people go, but he prosecutes others. And it almost seems at times it's based upon somebody's policies or someone's philosophical beliefs. I think that is wrong. I believe in America, our court system should be fair. Nobody should be above the law. But at this current time, why is he looking at something when nobody else thinks anyone's broken the law? Stop playing politics. And what I would really say to the Democratic Party, here you are, brought us inflation that we haven't had in 41 years, our highest gas prices, streets that are unsafe, a border that's unsecure, and you don't have one plan 94 days from now to fix any of it. You're doubling down with this new bill that's going to bring us more inflation, raise more taxes. It's the wrong direction. That's why Allan running is more important than any time before, because he's part of a plan to put a new direction on America and not focus on people by politics, but focus on people, period.
Very good. Leader, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.